Today we're talking about how to get your horse on the bit. And I think this is something that we all wonder and we all struggle with, especially if you're new to dressage or if you're just starting out riding. And first of all, it's important to consider why we want our horse to be on the bit. The reason why is that it allows us to ride them. When they're on the bit, it gives us control over where they're going. It gives us control over what their brain is doing. And it also helps us to create a top line that is more comfortable to sit on. So when the horse is round and supple and their back is up, they're much more comfortable to ride than when they're hollow and stiff and looking around. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to get your horse on the bit today. And be sure to check out the links below, sign up for my email list, and also join our free Facebook group called Amelia's Dressage Club. A lot of fun things go on there. So tip number 1, getting your horse on the bit, is leg. So you have to get your horse going before you can get your horse on the bit. So it's important that you first teach your horse to move forward from the leg. So if I'm at the halt, oh, there's a nasty bee on your head. So if you're at the halt, the first thing to do is teach your horse that when you close your calf, they walk forward like that. So that was a pretty invisible aid. Most horses won't be that responsive, but it's important just first to get your horse going from the leg. And then now that my horse is walking, I should be able to just take my leg off and he should stay walking on his own. So that's tip number 1. Now tip number 2 to get your horse on the bit is that you have to have the correct hand position. So when you take contact with your horse, it is really important that you have a straight line from elbow to mouth. And the reason for this is that this straight line allows you to be supple and to get a contact that is soft and movable with your horse's mouth. So if your arms are straight and your hands are braced, that creates tension. If your hands are too high, that's going to create tension. And you see how he's not walking and his head's not quite right. Likewise, I see a lot of people do this where they have piano hands or their thumbs stick out, all kinds of weird things, or they have chicken arms. But bottom line is you have to have the correct hand position to get your horse on the bit. Now, tip 3 is teach your horse pressure and release. So you need to teach your horse to get them to go on the bit. So if I'm walking around here and my horse's head is up, I have to teach him that when I take up the rein, I'm going to first of all get steady contact on my outside rein. And then with my inside fingers, I'm going to squeeze and give a little on those inside fingers and teach my horse to give and come on the bit like so. And then when he goes on the bit, my reward is that I'm going to let the reins out and pet him. Good boy. So I'll show you that again. Tip number 3 is to teach your horse pressure and release. So when you shorten up the reins, you want your horse to give to the pressure of the bit. I'm going to get my outside rein steady, and then with my inside rein, I'm just going to give little squeezes on my finger and get him nice and round and soft. And when he's soft, then I'm going to let the reins out and give him a pet. So those are 3 quick tips to work on getting your horse on the bit. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than this, and it takes time to get there with your horse, but I hope these tips help you.